Irashaimase. This is Roberto here, man. I got a YouTube video. I found this cool YouTuber called Chillin' Studies. Ooh, ah. And he had a video he posted a few weeks ago. I already watched his two most recent ones because he's really a good YouTuber. Or she, or it. I don't know. I don't mind. It's all good. But yeah, 5 most disturbing cases of real found footage, man. You know, the world can be a bad place, but we're gonna jump right into it. So I'm gonna start it as soon as I snap. You gotta lock in with me, and we're gonna watch it together, man. You know what I'm saying? I hope you're snacking on something good, because I had a panini today, so wasn't bad. I'm grateful. So 30 each knee. I'm sorry, I got 10 seconds. Each knee. Sun.
Single item, a videotape with no label or note to explain its contents. Curious to see what was on it, he put it in his camcorder and pressed play.
Camcorder.
The footage he found on it was shocking to say the least. It contained a nearly hour-long video of a man describing the violent things he was about to do, how he was going to lure his victims, and the makeshift devices he was going to use.
An hour?
I'm not trained in torture methods, which is what I'm going to have to make do. I got my drill here. You know, I've got padding on it. It's just to try to silence it a bit because I'm in an apartment. Got gags, socks, got lots of tape. I got a soldering iron. Got a cleaning implement. I think can work wonders, especially if it's used in the right way.
However, while the content itself was extremely grim, what disturbed Martin more was the fact that he personally knew the person on screen. This wasn't the man of a serial killer planning to take innocent lives. Instead, it was the final message of Martin's close friend, Ricky Rodriguez, a man who was tormented by a cult from the moment he was born. He eventually managed to escape the cult and was now planning to take revenge on the people who did unspeakable things to him for all those years.
Oh my god, a get back.
This hour-long video and mailed it to his few friends and family so they would find it and have all the answers about what he was about to do.
4-hour plotting.
This video, well, for many reasons, I guess. I suppose the main reason is that
revenge.
I want there to be some record of
my existence,
the rap field, my ideas, just who I was really.
Ricky's story began 30 years ago.
Anyone would want to be remembered.
January 25, 1975. He was born as the first child of Karen Al-Bazerdi. Karen was a member of a cult called the Children of God, which used Christian language to lure in young, impressionable minds, often teenagers, and molded them to its sick and perverse ideals. 2 years after Ricky's birth, he was adopted by the cult's leader, David Berg, who presented himself as the chosen one. David changed the cult's name to the Family and declared Ricky to be a religious herald, granting him a special position in the organization. However, while he was treated like royalty by the other members on the surface, behind closed doors, Ricky was the victim of vile acts no child should ever have to do. David not only encouraged these acts, but went as far as to write a whole book about everything he and his followers did to Ricky, called The Story of the Beat-Up. This abuse continued for many years. But as Ricky got older, he became aware of David's lies and manipulation. Then, in 1999, he finally managed to escape the cult with his girlfriend, Alexia Manuel, by faking a visit to the cult's compound in Mexico and fleeing to the U.S. instead.
Wow.
He came into society after 24 years in an isolated cult was anything but simple. But Ricky somehow managed to pull through and secure a job as an electrician. He also married Alexia and later moved to Tucson, Arizona due to his work. Unfortunately, no matter how hard he tried to move forward, the nightmare he escaped continued to haunt him. David had passed away in 1994, and the cult was now under the supervision of Karen Zerby, Ricky's mother. And while the cult had managed to escape legal repercussions by mainly operating overseas, Ricky knew that there were still countless children suffering the same fate as him. So, in January of 2005, he decided that enough was enough and took matters into his own hands. Which brings us back to the video.
Matters into his own hands.
With close friends and his wife. In it, Ricky mentioned his ultimate goal, which was to bring down the cult all on his own. Beyond that, a part of this was also about getting revenge for everything that was done to him.
Yeah.
There's this need that I have. This need. I want. It's a need, and I wish it wasn't, but it is. It's a need for revenge. It's a need for justice. Because I can't go on like this.
In this video, he also laid out his plan for accomplishing this goal. He'd apparently gotten in contact with his previous nanny, Angela Smith, who was among the group that tormented him during his time in the cold. He was going to invite her over for dinner at his apartment in Tucson and make her tell everything she knew about the other members' whereabouts by any means necessary. And that's exactly what he did. On January 8th, after mailing copies of his recording, he invited Angela into his home and proceeded with the plan. It's unclear what information he managed to extract from her before taking her home. He then got into his car and drove to Blythe, California. There, he rented a motel and called his wife to tell her about what he had done, what he was going to do next. However, despite the meticulous planning, Ricky ultimately couldn't follow through with the rest of his plan. On the morning of January 9th, authorities found his car in a parking lot just a few miles from the hotel he was staying at. Ricky was found inside the car as well. He had taken his own life. And while this was tragic news for his loved ones, it was hardly surprising for his wife. You see, Ricky believed that killing the cultists would bring him peace, something he reiterated in his last video.
Yeah.
I can imagine how I would feel. I'm liberated.
But that's not what happened. During his call with his wife, he confessed that despite his anger and resentment, killing Angela was the hardest thing he had ever done. Taking revenge didn't bring the comfort he was looking for. He couldn't bring himself to take any more lives and decided to end it all that night.
Oh, someone told Sadie Adler that.
Hour-long video to remember about. As for the family code, it remains active to this day under the leadership of his mother.
It's still active?
On October 4th, 2006, at approximately 6:15 a.m., the Barrie Police Department received a chilling call from a woman saying, "My children are dead," in a calm and quiet voice. The disconnect between her tone and the situation she was describing was extremely unsettling.
Ugh, those cop
When
cars.
it happened, she replied,
Sorry.
"I don't know, I don't remember." Police officers immediately rushed to the address she provided and knocked on the door of her apartment.
Oh, apartment.
The door opened and they were greeted by 31-year-old Frances Elaine Campione. When the officers asked her about the children she mentioned on her call, she replied in the same disturbingly calm voice, stating, "Yes, they're dead. They're on my bed." As the officers entered the master bedroom, he saw the remains of two little girls, 3-year-old Serena and 19-month-old Sophia, lying on the bed. Both were dressed in clean clothes and were also wearing necklaces and earrings. However, their skin was starting to turn blue, suggesting they might have been deceased for quite some time. One of the officers also noticed a small bruise on Sophia's forehead, and that was it. There was nothing else in the room that could explain their deaths. But as the investigators looked through Elaine's apartment, they found a camcorder with footage that explained everything. The recording started on a wholesome note, showing Elaine surprising Serena with a new bike on her third birthday on August 8th.
Hi, Serena. It's August 8th, 2006. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Serena. Happy birthday to you. Serena's 3 today. Yay! Shall we go to the living room and see if you got any birthday presents from the birthday fairies? Yes! Yay! Oh. What is it?
The next video also
That was a cute
showed Elaine
video.
and her two daughters just hanging around and
Trying to see if I'm
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I love you more than that.
So far, everything looks quite normal. However, their third recording, dated October 2nd, was when things started to get weird. The tone of the recordings instantly changed as Elaine suddenly went on and on about their horrible living conditions and the torment her ex-husband Leo and his family had put her through, said all in front of her children.
Mom, look at
Oh, there's an ad. While this is going on, man, I hope everyone here is doing okay. I don't have enough for YouTube Premium. I don't think anyone does, but I pay so much for streaming services. Why is that lady's eyes red? Oh my gosh. Why are ads so, like, traumatizing? Like the Cinnamon Toast Crunch one that they've been posting. I don't know if y'all seen that one. So, wait, no, Cox has good ads. Cox Cable. Oh, I guess you have it. Okay, there's another one. We're back.
you can't see the tutorial that you do. What's this? This is the deplorable, horrible, musty guilty apartment that supposedly my 2 children and I live in. It's just a horrible, horrible mess. Yeah.
It's not that
And
bad.
Diego Campione is totally wrong, and I hope he burns in hell for all his sins. The same as Leonardo. All I wanted to do was take care of my 2 little girls, live happily ever after the 3 years of physical, emotional, and mental abuse that I endured tremendously by Leonardo Campione, and in the past year from Anna and Diego Campione, the mental and emotional abuse, which didn't stop, and I had CAS bringing these 2 people into my life over and over again when I kept telling them the amount of mental and emotional abuse was causing my 3 year old daughter Serena and I to feel. It's horrible and uncalled for. I want justice and family for what they did. Cried out to help. We should have.
Leo was apparently extremely
Look at the little girl's face. Come on.
physically and mentally.
Come on.
To prevent her
How'd you
from
do that?
contacting her parents.
No, sometimes
At one
kids have
point,
fun.
even kicked her in her stomach while she was pregnant. This resulted in Leo getting charged with domestic violence
Rightfully
and
so.
getting divorced.
Yeah.
However, at the time of this recording, Leo was starting to turn things around and was engaged in a legal battle with Elaine over the custody of their daughters. This took an immense toll on Elaine's mental health. He was already quite unstable and had been to the psych ward twice in the past couple of years. But according to her mother, the custody battle caused her to lose it completely and developed severe paranoia. He became worried that Leo would one day show up and forcibly take her daughters away. Then, on October 2nd, after ending this recording at 8:39 p.m., Elaine did the unthinkable by taking the lives of her own daughters, then recording a haunting confession that investigators discovered on the same camera.
Crisis because Leo and everything.
Amen.
At this point, the camera cuts were later filmed by Elaine to take her.
Worth.
Elaine was arrested on the spot, later charged with the found footage in the home serving as crucial evidence. He was ultimately sentenced to life in prison, possibility for
25 years, like it's just like, well, no, nothing about that.
to go. The Bureau of Land Management
Like storage.
public service announcement of stay on and stay alive, educating viewers about the countless dangers of exploring abandoned mines, including the very real risk of cave-ins, volatile explosives, wild animals, and entire sections of that oxygen.
Yeah.
However, the most chilling part of the video was the story of the accompanying found footage of an African-American user. On July 4th, 1990,
Independence Day.
young men found an abandoned mine in Nevada to explore it for fun.
Oh.
Surprisingly, the boys seemed completely aware of this.
Oh.
We're pointing out, stay alive. It's a good point, but we're not too smart, so we're going to go anyway. Some fake money, dangerous.
Yet the allure of exploring a place untouched for decades was too tempting for them.
Jeez.
However, the deeper they went into the mine,
That's
the more dangerous it became. The boys walking over sketchy wooden bridges. They
Boy.
even found signs of the mine keeping in. Chose to ignore those signs just to venture.
Look at all this. There's lots of rocks and stuff that have fallen from the ceiling, which indicates that you didn't keep watching it. And, well, they've already fallen, so they're not going to fall again. Well, they've already fallen. Yeah.
They already found
something
something.
to keep in mind is that these weren't professionals with prior experience of safely exploring abandoned mines.
Right.
This was just a group of boys looking to do something cool and film the adventure.
Content.
They
Right.
could have easily plunged their deaths down a 1,000-foot mine shaft or gotten lost in the miles-long waves of tunnels,
Mm-hmm.
which started looking more and more likely.
Yeah.
And we gotta remember where we're talking out there. We can't be exiting, right? When we move. Okay, we're all gonna look. We're all meeting out this way. All done that. We talked about that. We done. Where's that go? Go down. Along the. Oh, that's not, you know. Well, it'd be kind of hard to try to catch that before you actually tell that now. All said maybe never go.
Toxic gases and radioactive elements could have also caused serious health issues down the line.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a meeting.
Yeah.
Fortunately, they somehow managed to avoid all of these dangers and make their way fairly deep.
Oh.
Right then, they came across something that
Oops.
could have ended all of their lives in one fell swoop.
Got them tight. Oh, wow. Yeah, you find that? Yeah, you would be. This is one of America's funniest when somebody calls. That's a good idea.
While crossing a sketchy section of the mine, the boys noticed a rope dangling from the wood and immediately became curious about whatever was down there.
Down to the main block. Wow. So we're climbing down the rope. Yeah. That's all down. How are we getting out of this? Climbing up it. I see.
They had little rope climbing experience between them. However, they didn't let that stop them from accomplishing their desires. A guy named Adam decided to be going to the Senate, resulting in this.
How far down does it go? How many down is that, right? Like a good fourth? Like a hook is.
How did one get a helmet? What? That is just insane. To just like, yeah, it's people.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Somebody help me.
The rope Adam chose to trust was completely worn and gave way shortly after quitting.
Yeah.
This caused him to plunge 65 feet down a dark mine and lose consciousness. Luckily, none of the damage he took on the way down was still breathing. His friends were able to find an exit and contact the authorities, who eventually rescued Adam after an hours-long rescue mission. Ultimately, them escaping the mine without any casualties was the picture of
Yeah. They wouldn't put that on YouTube. Like,
Or Adam could just as easily put his head on the surrounding rock. Both of these scenarios would have resulted in his death. What's even worse is that the whole group could have gotten stranded in the shaft. The rope broke in the last time down. With no way to contact the outside world, the group would have likely died of starvation. Fortunately, they were able to walk away from this terrifying experience. Just a few broken bones among the
dang, man. I think we're gonna go to. Isn't that okay? Well, let's just talk about everything, man. Like that was something, man. To trust a rope like that's that old is pretty wild. But we're gonna get back into it. The story number 4. Let's skip it.
On the 25th of February 2042, the Korea Fuel Company hired maintenance workers to reopen one of the underwater pipes for oil unloading contract refinery. The operation team included 5 men: Christopher, Kazim, Yusuf, Rishi, and Faisal. They were going to use a pressurized habitat to inspect the pipe and make any necessary repairs. However, shortly after entering this habitat, all 5 men disappeared from the work site, and those on the surface wondered why could have. It wasn't until rescuers found footage from a GoPro mounted to one of the divers' suits that the full truth came to light. The footage showed the men struggling to open the valve keeping the Kazim to go to the wreck. He returned to the habitat and handed the wrench over to his co-worker. But then, a few seconds later, this happened. The moment the valve was opened, slow pressure created a powerful vent. Water rushed into the house, but the pressurized air finally forced everyone into the point. All five of the men were forced into a 30-inch wide pipe, faster than they could float. Tumbling through the metal pipe at violent speeds for a minute and a half, they came to a stop at a section containing a small air, just enough to keep them alive, allowing them a brief moment to find their bearings and assess the gravity of their situation.
Oh.
All of them were barely breathing. One of them had also injured his leg. And while the air pocket was keeping him alive for the moment, it wasn't going to last very long.
No.
So, no other option, the two men at the front, Christopher and Faisal, started moving forward, hopes of reaching the pipes and getting help from the other three. But after making their way through several flooded sections, Faisal lost hope and refused to go any further. This left Christopher to continue alone. He reached the end of the pipe, where he was eventually pulled out by rescue. Fortunately, the same did not happen for his four opponents. Days passed, and the rescue efforts were slim,
You shush.
eventually leaving the other four to die. But the company's CEO later defended this decision, stating that a rescue mission would be in danger for others. The incident sparked widespread outrage. It forced the regional government to launch an inquiry into how such a disaster was allowed to happen.
Yeah.
But, as is the case with countless similar incidents,
Yep.
despite the numerous hearings, the
Wow.
other four divers were dead. That said, the Trinidad government did announce a compensation of $1 million for each victim, as well as Christopher in April 20.
He survived.
On April 28, 2000,
Five.
22-year-old
Story.
Russian diving and Billy Rips decided to reach the depths of the blue hole of the Hunt. Since the blue hole is widely regarded as the deadliest diving segment, as many as 200 fatalities. To make matters worse, before his dive, Yuri asked the local team diver to accompany him. All of them rejected him, since the preparations for this risky of a dive took as long as it did. Yet Yuri wanted to go in just 2 days.
What?
Every instructor refused to support his plan. Instead of backing up, Yuri made the worst mistake because he chose to go through with it alone. Started the afternoon and quickly disappeared into the depths of the earth. However, many hours passed. There was no sign of Yuri yet. His concerned mother enlisted the help of a local temperature named Nika, who immediately set out to rescue her son. Fortunately, by the time he found Yuri, he discovered Yuri's lifeless body floating near the floor of the pool. The next day, he returned with the necessary equipment to bring the body back to the surface. But as he was about to take Yuri back, he noticed that Yuri's diving camera was not nearby. So he grabbed that as well and began descending. This camera had captured the final moments of Yuri.
Camera.
The dive started like any other. Yuri swimming alongside me.
Yeah.
However, it wasn't long before everyone else faded from view and started to descend deep. And so that's when all the worst possible things started happening in rapid succession. It started with him failing to keep his gas levels in check, resulting in him getting nitrogen extremely disoriented. By the time he realized his situation, already sinking, he started panicking and began inflating his buoyancy control device quickly to avoid sinking in the Magically, this backfired. Buoyancy control device bursted due to the rapidly increasing pressure, leaving Yuri no way of safely returning to surface. The increasing depth exacerbates the symptoms of nitrogen poisoning as well. And it wasn't long before his camera captured the horrific sounds of him struggling to breathe, ending with him sinking to the 377 feet or 115 meters deep sea floor on Texas. The only silver lining in this whole situation is that there's a good chance the found footage helped at least one diver avoid a similar fate by learning from the mistakes that caused ruining his life.
I suppose so, but oh man, man, oh man. We're not gonna, no. That's well, dang man, those stories was wild. I hope you tapped in with me and you watched it. If not, you're just watching a light skinned dude just look sad. Whatever tickles your fancy, I don't mind. But geez, man, treat the video as you will, man. I'm not here to call y'all chat or anything like that, man. I despise that word. I view you guys as people. But yeah, man, treat the video as you will. If you don't like me, you're still here. So, but yeah, man. Just with this video, just like another one, man. Oh, I need that now.